just playing. I said, tell me the joke in that, because I don't know what you're insinuating. Then you're involving people that have nothing to do with nothing. Like, what are y'all doing? So I said, I'm going to call my brother. DL. I'm going to call my brother. I call DL Hughley on the phone. I call DL Hughley on the phone. I say, hey, baby. Yeah.
Huh?
That's how he responds. Yeah.
Did he know it was you?
Yes, because they called him to let him know Monique's going to be calling.
Right.
Like this, it was getting crazy.
Right.
I'm like, just let me get on the phone with my brother, right?
Yeah.
Hey, DL, yeah. I said, listen, I just got off the phone with your team, and they wanted to play this game, Would You Rather? And it was like, stupid, like asking me about my husband and Lee Daniels and Corinne Steffens, and his exact words, well, that's how we do it. I said, DL, how does that uplift our community? And again, I don't know what y'all trying to insinuate, but brother, what you doing? Like I said, that's just how we do it. So it is what it is. Now, it got so ugly that my attorney had to send a cease and desist.
Hey, this your boy Belly. Welcome back to the channel. And this right here is what I've been telling black people for the longest. Please stop listening to these out of touch, delusional, paid fucking celebrities that don't have your best interest nowhere in their fucking heads. These people are literally paid to keep you blind, paid to keep the chains on your neck. Like, this guy's like, this is some of the most powerfulest coonery I've ever seen. And he just continues to just like build onto this shit. Now, personally to me, DL Hughley was never funny. I can't remember any time in my life this dude was funny. So for him to be like, I don't know, I guess as prestigious as he is for Democrats to think they could throw this guy in front of black people to get votes or any of that shit is delusional to me. Because the guy has never been like, you weren't even good at what you did for a living. Just a cornball shield. And this is a perfect example right here of why you should not listen to fucking celebrities when it comes to your voting or anything with your personal life. These people are out of touch with reality, and they definitely have nothing in common with you. These people they can take dirty money and live comfortably offline to you. You can't just wake up and say, hey man, I need some money. Let me get some money from all these elite weirdos to keep black people brainwashed. Everybody can't access that type of shit, but these people have no problem doing that. Anytime they want to work for their master, they get paid for it. But you about to find out exactly what I'm talking about right here. Let's get into it.
That was Janae. Hey, Mr. DJ. So, of course, President Biden stepped down from his race bid to get a second term. And I think that we have to be appreciative of what he did. I think saving the country from COVID, I think what he did legislatively in terms of
save the country from COVID. Has this guy been ignoring everything that's been coming out about that stuff? Apparently he has.
The CHIPS Act, what he did in terms of the infrastructure bill. He did something on guns and climate control. What he did legislatively.
What did he do on guns and climate control? Especially climate control. What did he do? Shut down our pipelines, mess up the economy, raise gas through the roof, cost people way more money than they have to offer. Like, this guy's a fucking clown. Just lies and talking points. He can't prove any of this shit. Because it's impossible to prove something that never happened.
That lifted millions of people out of poverty.
What? This fucking clown just said Joe Biden lifted millions of people out of poverty. Oh, hold on. I got to check myself real quick. I was about to say some incorrect information. I apologize. He did lift millions of illegal immigrants out of poverty. He did. Just not Americans.
Lifted millions of people out of poverty. So those are all noteworthy things. And as I said earlier, it would rival FDR. I thought what they did was unceremonious. I thought that he is truly a man that loves his country. I always thought, and this has been my...
This guy just said Joe Biden loved the country, man. How much are they paying him, man? We need to pull up the donations, man, and the PAC money and find out how much this guy's getting paid. You know how much money they gotta be paying this dude to sit up here and just say this fucking shit that he doesn't even believe? I know for a fact he doesn't believe it, because you cannot believe shit that is not true. Democrats don't even believe that the shit that they tell people, but they know that their base is mostly mentally ill, low information people. So they can pretty much just say anything and still get the vote. It's pretty disgusting, guys.
Assessment of things. I think that democracy has always been a fragile proposition because it required powerful white men to give up power in service of the good.
Powerful white men to give up service. Nobody else. Powerful white men to give up service. How weird is that shit? Now, don't get me wrong. America has a history of evil white men doing a whole bunch of evil shit. But guess what? Most of those evil white people were what? Democrats. KKK. Like, what? I'm not saying they weren't. I'm not saying it wasn't bad people on both sides, because of course it doesn't matter what you're in. You have bad people in everything. No matter if it's sports, it don't matter if it's the cooking industry, it don't matter if you're selling fruit. Everybody that sells fruit isn't a good person. Yeah, but these people are just so disingenuous. It's disgusting. Like, wow, man. Most of those people that did all that dirty shit to black people were Democrats, KKK, racists. And now you got people like him shilling for that party. I bet you his ancestors are rolling in their grave right now. They're like, what? Ain't no way my great-great-grandkids are supporting these Democrats who's hanging us from trees. Like, what? Insane.
Good of the people, the good of the party, other things. And you see that in short supply. I never thought we would never probably see again a man give up the presidency because of pressure from the outside. Never is.
He didn't give up the presidency. Democrats threw a coup against Joe Biden and got his ass out of there. It was a coup. An organized effort to remove him from power. They didn't even have, like, Democrats hate democracy. They say democracy. They don't believe in democracy. They don't even give their candidates a chance to run at anything. They're placed in there. Like Kamala, nobody voted for her. The only reason she became vice president is because they attached her to Joe Biden. Nobody voted for her. She always ended up last in the polls. That's why she dropped out so early. She came in last in everything. And they're thinking, oh, California's going to back her. What? Who's going to back a Canadian that came to California and start locking black people up? And then once they serve their sentences, she's still holding them to fight California fires and all that shit. How can you hold people past their sentence time? Once you pay your debt to society, you should be able to go on with your life. No. Not in no area run by Kamala Harris, though. She will keep your ass in them chains. This dude is a goofy.
It's very rare where you see a party that forces him to do it. I mean, Nixon did it, but he did it. He was fully capable of doing it, but he was forced out. Joe Biden could have just said, I'm going to do it anyway. It wasn't corruption that drove him out. It was a calendar. He decided that it would be in the best interest of his party and a nation that there's no doubt that he loved if he dropped out of the race.
There's no doubt that he loved. He keep trying. Joe Biden loved this. No doubt that. How the fuck do you know that? Do you be in the bed with him to recognize his love? Because all I see from his policy is he hates America and he hates Americans. So he must know him personally and intimately to where he can say that stuff.
Despised the way that his members of his own party treated him. Every day for 3 weeks, the media and the members of his own party every day talking about his poll numbers. Let me ask you something. If every day somebody's talking about how bad your poll numbers are, and member of your own parties are talking about it, guess what? Your poll numbers are probably going to stay bad.
So he's mad that Democrats aren't supporting Biden and how they doing Biden. Come on, man. I thought you hated the Republicans, GOP. So now he's hating on Democrats. I told you, man, these people just, if you're not with the go along, get along gang, they hate you. You have to agree with every single thing that they say. Ain't no veering off from the path. You have to accept everything that these people say. Every little thing. They could be like, hey, we're done with chocolate ice cream, just vanilla. Let them catch your ass eating chocolate ice cream. They will kick your ass straight out of their party.
Drop. It is what it is. I think that he deserves a debt of gratitude. Like I said, I was angry at the people that constantly got an impediment and were angry. I was angry at people, the media, and the questions they asked about his age and not doing it on the other side. It didn't
See, now he's mad at people for doing their actual job. They didn't do their job against Joe Biden for years, and now that they're actually doing their job, he's mad at them, guys.
seem fair to me. But that is where we are right now. The one thing I can appreciate out of this whole thing, even though I think that he was treated unceremoniously, even though I didn't like what happened, I hated the members of his party and the members of his media that made this the situation. I can appreciate one thing. The one thing that they did not do to Joe Biden that I've seen happen on the other side, they didn't make him a deity. He isn't a god to them. They didn't make him Christ-like. They didn't ride around with his name and flags and cry and say
his name and flags. What do you mean? It's Joe Biden banners and all that stuff, man. They had them people yards. Like, what are you talking about? It's shirts and all that. These people made banners and all that. This guy's fucking delusional. Does he not understand that the people that he's talking to live in reality in the same world as him? He must think that he's talking to people on some foreign planet or something. Like, what is he talking about? And nobody made Trump a deity, a god-like figure. Like, what is this guy talking about, man? They see him as the only hope right now of recovering our country because he's the other presidential nomination. Like, what do you mean? People have been under Joe Biden's foot for years now, destroying their lives, their quality of life. Everything about life, Joe Biden has ruined. And they know that Trump, with his policies and all that stuff, can get America back running, can make America back great. Talking about deity and God-like. Man, Trump is the face of the movement. Nobody treat him God-like. This shit is weird, man. If you notice, it's only one side calling him Orange Jesus. Like, it's only one side. Nobody called that man none of that stuff on the right. Like, man, this guy is delusional, man. These people are sick.
Hey, this is our God, and Jesus sent up to us. As appreciative as they were of the things that he did legislatively, he never became a God. He wasn't immortal. We don't hear, the religious right ranting about God. None of that. He wasn't a deity at all. He was a man who loved his country, who served his country, and who got old. And you know what? Gods don't. Gods don't get old. Gods get statues. But they didn't make him a deity. He was a man. He's a man who they loved, who was a man who did his job, who was a man who served his people, and who was a man who...
He got to keep repeating all that shit because he doesn't believe it. So he want to make sure that you hear it enough times to believe it. Like, we done heard your jokes enough time to know that you're not funny at all, bro. You a cornball. And he just got to keep repeating the same lies.
Could not defeat Father Time. He wasn't guilty of being a hustler. He was guilty of being human.
He's guilty of corruption and selling out America for foreign influence, for money, for him and his crackhead son. That's what he's guilty of. And for politically prosecuting his opponents because he can't win off merit, because he did a terrible job as president.
He suggests that whole ashes to ashes, dust to dust thing. That is what happened to him. The calendar happened to him. And as disrespectful as I thought people of his own party were and the media in general, I think the one thing I can appreciate, they never made him godlike.
This guy's so weird, man. And I have work today, so I don't even feel like this shit is like, I feel like I'm losing IQ and just brain cells just listening to this cornball. So I'm not even going to play any more of this garbage. You guys get the point, man. Stop listening to these lunatic liars, man. They do not have no black person's best interest at heart. Because one thing people fail to realize, it's not black versus white. It's not tan versus white. It's not tan versus black. It's not green versus purple and pink and orange. It's rich and elite corruption versus the little man. The poor little man who has to fight, the poor little man and woman who have to fight every day for the type of life that they want. While people like him just get shit handed to them for just brainwashing people that listen to them. Like, this shit is disgusting, man. You can sit down and have a conversation with this guy. Any black person, I can sit any black person down in front of him and have a conversation with him. You will not have anything in common. He might make a couple of the corny black jokes and all that to try to get you to, to be on ground level with him. We have nothing in common with these lunatics. Please understand that. Wow. This guy's really disgusting, though. You guys seen it like I seen it. Make sure to always think for yourself. Do your own research. You don't have to listen to me. I'd rather you think for yourself. I just like getting these messages out here. But let me guys know in the comments what you think about this guy. and what you think about all this shit that's going on, man. And make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Trying to build the momentum back up on my channel. I really appreciate it. Y'all seen it like I seen it. I'm out.